It's interesting, actually.
It is time to breathe again. I kind of had a little freeze there, but it's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube and Facebook. So, got me here. Patrick is here too. And it is time to jump into this webcast, Patrick. So, there's a lot to cover as usual. So, let's get on these, I'm going to call them whiny quarterbacks because that's what's going on here. So, whiny baby quarterbacks. So we uh remember a few weeks ago when when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. A few days afterwards, we were talking about how Tom Brady shaking up the league with what he was able to do, coming down to Tampa Bay and basically having that team get uplifted by his sheer presence. Tom Brady showing the leadership, uh, infusing confidence in those players in a team that was 7-9 last year. So now you're starting to see how shaken up the league is because these quarterbacks, oh my gosh, it has turned into a cry fest. So the latest crier is what I'm going to call this here is Russell Wilson. Now, look, we had talked about Russell Wilson a week or two ago. And of course, he got out there on his media tour, if you want to call it that, and it's talking about, I'm tired of getting hit, blah, 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 blah. And then now an article from The Athletic came out detailing the rift, or I guess extending rift between him and the head coach Pete Carroll, to the point where they're saying one or the other will be gone by the end of next year, unless Seattle wins the Super Bowl. So, in other words, Patrick, one of them's going to be gone. One of them's out. Whatever. I know this is good.
Hold up. The first thing that came to my head was it's a married man and a married woman arguing, and the first thing they say, "Well, let's have a baby."
It's
and,
so
and the baby will fix everything.
we're grown people. Like, why? What is going on here?
Oh my god! This is okay. All right, I'm sorry. Get me back on track. What
No,
we
no,
talking?
no, no. You're right, though. I'm just saying, like, we're grown people. Like, what are we really? What is going on here? Oh, you hurt my feelings. Well, you hurt mine.
We're no longer friends.
But if we have this baby, we can come together.
Come together, make it all better.
so, so I guess when this athletic story came out, there was another blurb or whatever you want to call it that came out and said Russell Wilson is not trying to leave Seattle. He wants to stay in Seattle. But
And there's always a but.
If you are going to trade me, here's the 4 teams that I wouldn't mind being traded to. So this is coming from his agent. Dallas Cowboys were one of the teams. New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears, and the Las Vegas Raiders are the teams that are being talked about. Now, Patrick, here's the thing. If we are to believe these dudes who come out here and say, oh, all I want to do is win, that's all I care about, blah, 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 blah. Well, what they don't tell you is they want to win on their terms. And, of course, they want to earn as much money as possible. Again, nothing wrong with that. We're not ones to get into their pockets. That's not what we do here. We understand if you're trying to go and get as much money as you can, you go get that money. But just admit it. Just admit that you're about the money and that you want to get paid. There's nothing wrong with that. We all want to get paid. But if we're to believe Russell Wilson and him saying he wants to win, then the team that you would think he would go to is the Saints. They are right now in the best position to win right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, nowhere near a position to win. The Bears, not really in a position to win. Although, if they are able to get a quarterback in there and a few weapons, they might be onto something. I don't trust that coaching, though. And the Raiders, I think the Raiders have something good going. The defense has to get better, but out of those 4 teams, they could pull that off, I think, better than anybody else because they do have the draft capital, and they probably have the most cap space, or at least to where they're not in cap hell. So, so Patrick, look,
Well, Chicago's not.
right. And so look, there's a lot to unpack here, but the main thing, Patrick, is Russell Wilson is being the crybaby to me. And another thing, also, we have to realize we don't know these people. We don't. A lot of us think we do because we watch them on television every week and we think we know everything about them. And those reporters, those beat reporters, they know more. They're there with the team every day. So they have a better knowledge than what we would have. But, a lot of people are coming out and are shocked by these comments by Russell Wilson. I'm not. He just seems like just like anybody else who is crying when things don't go his way.
And that's what happened. It's not going his way, so he mentions 4 or 5 teams that he wouldn't mind going to. Look, it's like this. This is the way I see it. First of all, I'm gonna 100% agree with you. He's being a baby. It ain't going my way. Boo hoo. Oh man. So what? You get paid millions of dollars to do your thing. Do your thing. It doesn't matter what team you play for. But my question is, why those 4 teams? Why in specific are we talking about these 4 teams? First of all, Dallas, come on. Really? Come on. Dallas? Well, Dallas ain't going to pick you up. They got Dak, and they're good right now with that. And I think they're even trying to franchise him this year. So, those
for the second time.
For the second time. Yeah, by the way. So I don't think Dallas is in the need of a quarterback. Saints are probably going to be fine at quarterback. Russell Wilson doesn't move the needle in New Orleans. Now, I guess maybe if Drew Brees leaves, maybe, but I doubt it. I mean, the Saints are gonna reload at quarterback in due time. And from what I saw this year, the only thing I saw that Drew Brees really had a problem with is throwing the ball deep. And that's not really that big of an issue because several times he threw it 50, 60 yards and was fine. He can't do it time and time and time again. Age is catching up with him. But the way I saw it, he really didn't get hurried much last year. He didn't get knocked down much last year. He pretty much kept a clean uniform the entire game on most of those games. So I think he's probably got another year in him. So Russell Wilson, those are 2 places that he's out. I can see him going to Chicago. But does Chicago have the cap space? They would have to give up something, a few things to get that cap space. But Chicago stands a pretty good chance to get him, and I think he does move the needle in Chicago. Well, hell, I guess everybody moves the needle in Chicago at this point. And then the Raiders. I mean, Russell Wilson is a fantastic runner-up in Las Vegas. I'm going for Deshaun Watson. He's younger. He's faster. He has more durability on him. And I would probably, that's my number 1 pick if I'm going out for a quarterback. So, Russell, the way I see it, you might want to start making your making good in Seattle because that's probably where you're going to stay at, bro, as far as I see it.
So, here's another thing, Patrick, with Russell Wilson. When we have talked about him, I have normally
Congratulations on your Texas team winning tonight.
About damn time.
Right?
Appreciate it.
Hey, they put some whipping on Iowa State, man.
It's about damn time. I mean, we'll get on college basketball in a minute, but I do think Texas can do something, but we got to play smart. That's the main thing. We don't play smart all the time.
Defense, man.
But
Put a body in
man,
front of somebody at times.
but
Anyway,
well, here's the thing, Patrick. You know, when we had talked about Russell Wilson on this show, I'm pretty sure you have too. We stopped just short of putting him up there with that elite tier, the elite of the elites, like consistently being elite. He has moments where he looks like an elite quarterback. As a matter of fact, I say the last couple of years, he was in the MVP running for a big chunk of those years, but he kind of fell off at the end of those years. Last year, he fell off, and Aaron Rodgers stayed up there, stayed consistent, and he won it. The year before, it was Lamar Jackson, who just continued to kind of pull ahead when they were neck and neck at one point. And because of that, I just wonder if Russell Wilson was to go to a spot, is he the guy to uplift them? Like you said, with New Orleans, because we both acknowledge New Orleans is the team. If he's serious about winning, that's the team that you might try to advocate a trade for. Again, we don't know the Saints situation. We don't think it's something they could really do, to be honest. But if
they lose Drew Brees, they can.
yeah, because they'll take the cap hit won't be nearly as much. And
Right.
so, but is he the guy? Is he uplifting the Saints to that height? Just don't know. And yes, I know he won a Super Bowl title, but we all know that team in Seattle was built off of the defense, the Legion of Boom, secondary, and Marshawn Lynch running the football. Russell Wilson just didn't have to mess it up. And then a lot of people want to say Pete Carroll is run first, run first, run first. So it wasn't going to be like that. But Patrick, help me. Just help me out. I seem to remember a certain play in the Super Bowl where they could have easily gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch, but they decided to let Russell Wilson throw that football. I did just help me out here. Help me out. I don't know. Am I forgetting something here? Did I miss something here?
No, I remember that play quite. Hold on. Yeah, that was about the dumbest, stupidest crap I've seen in my life. Why they had him run that? Why they had him throw that ball at that point? And I think they were on the 1 yard line.
Yeah. So, just saying.
Look,
Carol. Russell Wilson, to me, like I said, I like his game. I think he plays really, really smart. But I think this is a guy right now who is seeing the time is starting to be short. And him sitting in Tampa, watching the Super Bowl, you could just kind of look at him and tell what was in his head. Man, I want this control like Tom Brady. Well, you know what, Russell Wilson, one thing you can do, you can take less money. You can. Again, we're not trying to get in people's pockets, but you can take less money, and so they can build the team around you. Just saying.
I remember a quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, by the name of Tom Brady, that did just that on 4 separate occasions, and even restructured his contract 2 times in his career to take less money so that they could put people around him. So
he does it routinely. He does this. And so all I'm saying is, look, hey, Russ, you say if you want to be like Tom Brady, you want to have that type of control, well, you might have to practice doing Tom Brady-like things. And part of that is to take a little bit less money. I mean, you're making $35 million per year, eating up cap. So just saying, again, look in the mirror first.
Tom Brady, I don't even think made $18 million going to Tampa. 18. I mean, but you have to really think about that. I don't know what it was. Maybe I should look it up. But I don't think he made 18 million to go to Tampa because he wanted to get Gronk and he wanted to get keep Evans. He wanted to keep those people.
Yeah, it was structured in a way where you could build the team around him, and he's getting Antonio Brown and Gronk in there, and uh, keeping the offensive line intact. I mean, those are the things that you have to do if you're trying to do. Because again, teams win Super Bowls, not individual players. Just saying. So, speaking of the quarterbacks, Patrick, so you brought up Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson, we know their situation. The Houston Texans seem to be pretty dug in. They are not trying to trade him. Deshaun Watson seems pretty well dug in. He's talking about he's not going to play another game for the Texans. So the consensus is saying he's probably going to end up being traded. So here's how I feel with this one, Patrick. The Houston Texans are a tire fire, right? There's no denying that. They're a mess. They're ran terribly. They have this dude who's supposed to be like the team chaplain having same say so and managerial picks, and so it's a mess there in Houston. But Deshaun Watson, look, I think Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. I think he is one. He's one of the best ones in the league. But the team had Bill O'Brien there, messing things up as a coach and then a GM before Deshaun Watson signed the big contract. They traded DeAndre Hopkins away before Deshaun Watson signed a contract. Yes.
Hold on, I didn't try to say this. So Tom Brady's contract was $20 million with incentives if he makes more touchdowns, and it totaled out this year that he was going to make a little over $30 million this season.
Okay.
So he made $10 million worth of incentives this year.
So even with the incentives, Patrick, that's a little bit more than Kirk Cousins' deal. If that puts anything in context. And Kirk Cousins, we know, is not good. Anyway, but
I don't even know. We just wasted 2 seconds of air.
No, it's just in context. We're just
pay us for saying his name.
But it's talking about the people who are making that amount of money, and put it into context, and it just showing you what Tom Brady is willing to do just to make sure he has a chance to win. Now, look, we're not arguing he's not getting lovely paid, but
but the fact that incentives don't go towards your salary cap makes a huge difference.
It absolutely does. And so, but that's the point. With all these other quarterbacks wanting all this say so, all this power, everything. And so with Deshaun Watson, like I said, the DeAndre Hopkins trade happened before he signed the contract. The Bill O'Brien being there, I know he got fired over the past year, but he was there a long time messing up things before Deshaun Watson signed a contract. The McNairs, who seem to be out of touch with everything as owners, were there before Deshaun Watson signed a contract. So to me, if you were Deshaun Watson and the representatives, this is what I would have done. And you would have had to not take this big contract to do this, but you're in a rookie deal. So if you're in this rookie deal and you know this stuff is going on in Houston to where everything looks abnormally dysfunctional, you have to keep your options open and say, you know what?
See where it goes.
Exactly. Look, dude, hey, I'm coming into my final contract on this rookie deal. I'm gonna play the options out here. I'm gonna play the field. I'll come in there. I'll come to camp. I'll play. But dude, let me see what's out here first, because there's a lot of dysfunction going on. But you took the money. He took the money. And then I don't know what happened, whether it was some promises that were made and he talking about he not being concerned. Well, I hate to say this. I get it. Look, you want your opinion to matter, but the people who are up there in those positions, they're under no obligation to listen to you. They don't have to take anything into consideration. And if they made these promises again, they were already dysfunctional. So what, you gonna let these people make these promises and say, oh yeah, we're gonna straighten up? They were already garbage. They were already dysfunctional. Why are you gonna listen to dysfunctional people? So look, he took the money, Patrick. And again, there's nothing wrong with him taking the money. I get it. You want to get paid. And if the money is hot, you can strike while it's hot, and you can get 35 to 40 million per year. By all means, go after that. But when you go after that, that's pretty much a marriage. And so
Dude,
you what you say.
I tell my kids this all the time, and I'll bring them in here and I'll say it. I'll tell them, I can say half of the sentence and they'll know the other half. Simple as this. With every cause, there's an effect. It's not that bad. It's not that hard. Always, dude, with every cause, there's an effect. Because you act like an ass, you're going to get treated like shit. It's just normal crap. I mean, so my thing is, if Deshaun Watson knew all of this stuff that you said, with how the McNairs are running the team, with the coaches that's there, with the wide receivers that are leaving, with the running backs that are leaving, if he knew all of this stuff, I get it. Take the money but you know what? If you don't like it, retire, because it's the only way you're gonna get out of that contract. And because and the way I see it, Houston can take that. You are expensive right now, and they're going to try to get as much money as they possibly can back. It's the nature of the business. You took the money. Unless you want to give that money back, here we are. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was up there, I can tell you right now, I'm not taking anything less than me trying to break even. I gave you $40 million, bro. I want my $40 million worth. Simple as that.
I mean, all this, I just keep on coming back to that, Patrick. All this was going on before he signed the deal. Mm-hmm. And so I hear everybody saying, oh, well, yeah, Houston's dysfunctional, and, Deshaun Watson, he should want to leave. Yeah. And he should want to leave Houston. I mean, J.J. Watt, he was able to get released. I'm like, no, number one, that J.J. Watt, give me a break with that. All right, that is a completely different situation. We're talking about an 8 contract. Yeah, he was done with this contract too. And Houston wasn't going to bring him back on no $17 million a year. No, no, they're not going to do that.
Young Deshaun Watson. Why would they bring him back? I mean, J.J. Watt, don't get me wrong. And on top of that, he never went out and trashed Houston. He went out and did his job. He just did his job. And when the time came, his contract ran out, or he went in for his option or whatever, he asked, I would like to exercise my option. And he did. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with what J.J. Watt did. He got out, but he served his time. He did his contract.
It's just a completely different situation.
Like this scenario, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because but I heard people like, oh, well, how come JJ gets to go, but Deshaun Watson can't get released? Really? Why is that a question? What are we trying to start here? This is logic. This is really not that hard. You're talking about a 25-year-old franchise quarterback that you just signed for a $40 million per year contract, and then a guy who is aging, and he's done with his contract. And chances are he wasn't going to be brought back anyway. Well, actually, he wasn't. He wasn't going to be brought back. Not at that price tag that he was at. They weren't going to take that cap.
Never brought him back for 8. Never brought him back for 8. But no 17.
Yeah. So
I mean, and I'm a huge fan of J.J. Watt. I would tell you right now, I would probably not go more than 7.
Yeah. So you just wait till I tell you this contract the Cardinals gave him.
It's probably asinine in its own, but I mean, with his, but then again, you have to look at J.J. Watt. He only had that one season that he was injured. That one season. Other than that, very durable.
Patrick, he's missed 2. He's missed 2 years.
Oh, he missed 2? Okay. Yeah. Other than that, he's been very durable. So.
And so, I think, but yeah, I don't know. Again, I have to put. You know what? Hold up. Yeah. So we got the STFU club. There's another club that I'm not thinking of right now, but I
The
mean,
WTF.
which one?
The WTF.
Yeah, so the WTF club, the STFU club. It might be time to start this crybaby club because the quarterbacks are reigning supreme in this. Reigning supreme right now. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. He got to go there. He has to go there because to me, he came into this situation. Like anytime you're doing these contract negotiations, you know what's there. You know what's going on there. So you signed the contract to stay there long term, and now you want out.
Well, he got his money.
Yeah,
He got
exactly. Now that you got your money, you want out? No, man. Like, we have to be willing to look at things from both perspectives here. And if you're gonna have the thing of, well, I don't blame Deshaun Watson for wanting out. Deshaun Watson knew what was there. He saw the dysfunction that was going on. So there has to be some blame that goes to him.
Most of it, honestly. I mean, look, Houston gave him exactly what he wanted. It's all his fault. Everything about it. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Deshaun Watson's acting like a little baby. He got what he wanted, and now he doesn't want what he wanted. That makes sense.
And I love Deshaun Watson. Like, I think he's a great quarterback. I enjoy watching him play. Even going back to the college days in Clemson. But hey,
come on, dude.
This right here, not looking this. So I mean, these quarterbacks. So there could be. I mean, God, they could qualify for everything, Patrick. At all the clubs, the WTFs, the STFUs, the crybaby clubs, the Dookie look, like all of it.
Deshaun Watson is like leading in all of them.
I know. So, hey, we're gonna bring up one more, Patrick, and then we'll move on to the draft. Dak Prescott.
Oh, of course, you're gonna go with him. Okay.
So you brought him up earlier. There's a report out there that says he wants a contract close to Patrick Mahomes and what he got. All right, now, sorry, that's just laughable. Me saying that. But anyway, look, it's a report. So I don't know how much validity is to this report, but if this is true, he has done nothing close to anything Patrick Mahomes has done in this league. He's coming off an injury, and what is his value? Now, this is another quarterback, Patrick. I like Dak. Going back to Mississippi State, I like Dak Prescott, but I don't know if he's that dude that people think he is, or like he thinks he is. I don't think he's uplifting a team like that. I don't think he's doing anything unless Ezekiel Elliott is leading the league in rushing, like he did 2 of the first 3 seasons they played. Oh, go figure, they made the playoffs both of those years. And then all of a sudden they wanted to go to a more pass-based offense. And Dak Prescott, yeah, he's putting up great numbers, but it's not translating to team success. They can't beat winning teams. So it really doesn't matter.
Barely beat losing teams.
Yeah. And
unless you're the Atlanta Falcons, and then
yeah. But Patrick,
the only solid win they had all last season. And they had to come back to 21 to win.
It was their only win that they had before Dak Prescott went out. And so seriously, hey, just
there you go.
Yeah. And so so they were 8-8. 8-8 with him when they decided to go more pass heavy. 8-8. And then 1-3. He gets hurt. The team finishes 6-10. So what are we thinking, Patrick? If Dak Prescott played that whole season, man, maybe 2 more wins. I guess it's enough to win the NFC East. Since Washington, the F's, won it with the 7-9 record. So yeah, maybe they win the NFC East with another 8-8 record, but they would have been one and done. They would have played Tampa Bay, probably would have got ran out the stadium worse than Washington did. Probably. So So I mean, but as it was, they finished 6-10. So really, where is this value and this leverage people are talking about with Dak Prescott? He's coming off of an injury, and when you're in there, they're not that good with you. There's no leverage for Dak like this. I don't understand. And so for him, again, hey, Patrick, the same thing with the money that we said about the other two crybaby quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. If you can get that money, you should try to get that money. I get it. I understand. Everybody wants to get paid. But again, don't try to tell me you're all about winning. You're all about the team. You're this and that. And then all of a sudden you want to break the bank. Now, I'll say this for that. Dallas has went and they have they overpaid. We'll call it what it is. They've overpaid for all these other people. They overpaid for Amari Cooper. He's making $20 million a year. I think that's a waste. DeMarcus Lawrence got that big deal. That's a waste. Jalen Smith, the linebacker, he got all that money. A waste. I'm sorry. Like all these people got way overpaid.
Everybody on that team was overpaid. I mean, honestly, I think Dak Prescott got overpaid.
Zeke's overpaid.
Zeke's overpaid. Everybody's overpaid. Jerry Jones is overpaid.
And the thing with Dak is, so now it's going to be franchise tag. So you got, I think the franchise tag was $31 million. Yeah, $31 million last year. If they do the franchise tag this year, it's a $37 million franchise tag. Now, me personally, I play on 10 franchise tags. I don't care. This is like, to me, hey, that's a year-to-year contract. So, okay, when LeBron James says year-to-year contracts, right? So if you can play on franchise tags, do it. Like I love the franchise tag. Love the franchise tag.
Dude, you pay me a franchise tag. I don't give a crap where I play. You want me to play where? Absolutely. $30 million? Done. Do you even know where you're playing? No, but I'll pack my bag right now. You just send me a plane ticket. Just give me the plane ticket. I'll go. Well, you're going to the New York Jets. Don't care.
Oh,
it's
God.
cold. Don't care. Franchise.
So
you know what I mean? Come on. Take your money and go play. Just take the money and go play. If you happen to win a Super Bowl, congratulations. If you don't, about that franchise tag. Because I tell you, every year I'd be like, whoa, what about that franchise tag? Well, do you think you earned it? Earned it last year. Just saying. Just saying. Sure, we'll give it to you. Fantastic. Where do I sign?
Exactly. So I don't know. So yeah, man. Like, hey, I know we didn't want to spend too much time on Dak Prescott. I just kind of wanted to bring him up because he's another representative of the Crybaby Club. So I mean, I just think it's wild how these quarterbacks are just whining, but yet they are breaking the bank in some way, shape, or form. Right.
Unbelievable.
Well, Patrick, let's jump into some NFL draft news. So that really, I don't want to say too much about the NFL draft. I mean, we know it's coming up in late April. But it's just hilarious how these these reports are out here saying, well, everybody's watching what the New York Jets do with the second pick of the draft, because once they know what they're going to do, then dominoes are going to start falling. And I mean, they kind of hold all the cards. A 2-14 team holds all the cards. Let's go down to Tampa and let's ask the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they are worried about what the Jets do.
I just won Super Bowl. The Jets hold the cards? Fantastic. Let them hold the cards.
I'm going to make that motion. I'm going to make the motion of Tom Brady throwing the trophy over a boat.
Who holds the cards? Well, that's fine. I hold the trophy. MVP trophy. 7 rings. Super Bowl trophy. Who holds the chart? Who holds the cards? The Jets. Super Bowl trophy. MVP trophy. 7 rings. Who holds the cards? Yeah. Super Bowl trophy. I mean, we can do this all day long.
I just the thinking.
Let's hold the cards, yet Tom Brady has the best team in the nation. I don't understand. How do the Jets hold the cards?
But if you're
Super Bowl
if you're
MVP, 7 rings.
but if you're any of these 32 teams, like why are you messing yourself up worried about what these other teams are doing? Like, like, look, who cares? All right, yes, I get it. There are teams who are in your division and you're trying to do what you can to match up with the teams in the division. Okay, cool. Understand. You do your scouting. You got to do what you got to do to make sure your roster is good. But once that's identified, once you understand what objectives are there, it's about your objective now. Who cares? So if somebody, let's say, because you're in the NFC South, since you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, so you understand you have the Saints and the Super Bowl champs, defending Super Bowl champs in your division. But once you've identified what they have going good and stuff, now you know what you need to build. That's what you should concentrate on. What you need to do, where you should build. No one else should matter at that point. You should, like, you know what, damn it, I might need some defensive linemen because I got Tom Brady that I know I need to get pressure on, and who knows who the Saints quarterbacks are going to be. But you're going to have to get some pressure on these dudes if you're going to mess up what they're doing. All right, now let me go get my defensive lineman. Oh shoot, I might need to stack up the secondary position. All right, let me go get me some corners. And at that point, it's about you building the team. And then you go in there and you're ready to go. But the Jets holding the cards, who the hell is worried about the Jets? They were a 2-14 team last year. Who the hell is worried about the Jets?
And on top of that, last time I checked, it's one pick.
Right, one pick.
One person. Because one person is going to win the Super Bowl. Oh, God, that's not what Tampa said.
Patrick. Teams.
The last time I checked, when the other person was on the other boat, there was another person as Tom Brady is throwing another touchdown pass with a Super Bowl trophy.
Like who?
But they hold all the cards.
My thing is, you know what you need on the team. Build your team up. Who gives a damn about anybody else? It should not matter. Like if you're the Miami Dolphins, who are sitting at number 3, you're not worried about what the Jets do. You know what you need. You know what you need to do. So either you draft toward need, or do what some of these other teams do: draft the best available player. It's that simple. That's what you do. Why the hell are you worried about what the Jets do?
And if you're really worried about it, you see what the Jets. I mean, I guess worry about the Jets at a certain point and say, okay, well, I also know that the Jets need, let's say, a wide receiver, and go and get Devontae Smith. Well, why are you getting Devontae Smith? You don't need a wide receiver. No, but I do like that quarterback, and if I give them Devontae Smith and a round 2, maybe I get that quarterback that went second. Now I get my quarterback. It's all about a game. I mean, I'd say don't worry about too much of what the Jets are doing or any other team in that matter. Feel your need. And if you can't feel your need with the top players that's out there, then grab something so you can feel somebody else's need. It's a game. I mean, even the game of football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever you want, is a game of it's just a chess game. You see what you need. If you can address your needs with this current pick, address somebody else's needs and see if you can put something with it and get your need that you need. It happens all the time. I mean, it's like, but worry about you. You're right. Worry about you and see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Tampa didn't have a problem with worrying about what they needed. They needed a quarterback, so they went and got one.
Yep.
Didn't worry about the rest.
Yep. And so that's the thing. Like, look, you run your team. The rest of the stuff that will take care of itself. But the minute we start getting into these conversations of, oh well, this team holds the cards, and then that will set the dominoes for the next 15 picks. What? What? From the Jets? Garbage. Hot trash. And people should get fired for that statement.
They should. The Jets are going to draft somebody in the third round. They're going to draft a kicker. That's probably what they'll do. Because they're so dumb, they'll draft a freaking kicker. How did a kicker go number 2? Everybody else is going. They do hold all the cards.
They hold the card, yeah.
The world is my oyster. Now I get to pick whoever I want.
Wow. So Patrick, we'll get away from the moronic nature of these reports and how people think with the draft, and we're gonna jump into one more football thing before we chop out some college basketball, and then this will be quick. So we know J.J. Watt, so he signed a contract with the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of people thought he may go to the Cleveland Browns or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers have his brother TJ. The Green Bay Packers was also a team that was rumored because of his ties to Wisconsin. But he decides to go to Arizona, and I think it's a 2-year, $31 million deal. Am I picking that up right? So it's close to the $17 million a year that he would have made at Houston, and it's going to be $15.5 million. So J.J. Watt, okay. So I mean, we're thinking, oh well, he's played for 10 years in Houston. Man, you might want to go get a ring. Goes Arizona. It's like a team that didn't make the playoffs. Now, look, I guess I can't say too much because Tampa Bay didn't make the playoffs last year, and now they're a Super Bowl champion. But we know who we're talking about here.
Yeah, but
So,
J.J. Watt, the Tom Brady lineman.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but okay, no, he did exactly what he didn't say. He, from what I understood, he never said anything about chasing the ring.
No,
he wants to get paid, and he said he basically said that without opening up his mouth. Somebody said, "Tell me you want to get paid without saying a word." He said, "Give me a Cardinals contract, and I'll do just that." And that's what he did.
I love the look you made when I mentioned those numbers.
Yeah, dude, I was like, seriously, you got that?
Dude, look it up, and look, I might need to get fact checked on that. So just let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was. It was 2 years, 31 million. So that's an average of 15.5 million per year, and 23 million of that is guaranteed.
What?
Yes. If I'm right on that, that's what I remember.
$31 million, including 23 million guaranteed.
So yeah, hey man, money grab.
Hey, absolutely absurd.
And look, and Patrick, you said J.J. Watt had been durable, right? But through the last 5 years, I think he's had one where he had double-digit sacks. The year before, last year, he had 5 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles and 1 interception for a touchdown. So look, under the right system, and Arizona does have some pretty good defensive players there. As a squad, as a unit, not that good. But you have Budda Baker, the safety. You have Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker. And on the line, you have Chandler Jones. So if you put Chandler Jones on one side, J.J. Watt on the other, could be a nice front four. That could get some pressure.
You can't double team him now. And that's probably what they're going for. You can't double team this man. And you mentioned his stats, but man, you go back and you look. This man's doubled and triple teamed most of his career.
He does have an effect on the field, absolutely, no doubt. And he's a 3-time defensive player of the year. So I mean, he can play.
Yeah, he can play, and like we always say, you say this most of the time. I just piggyback on. I'm about to say it now. Teams don't pick up a player for what they've done in the past. They pick up a player for what they feel they can do for them in the future. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit and say that the Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl next year. What I am going to say is this line does become a little bit more potent now. I'm not going to say Watt's going to go out and get 15 sacks a game or anything like that. I'm not going to be crazy. What I am saying is this does give him an opportunity to get to the quarterback a little more because they can't double team this man as much as they did in Houston because Houston, every team that went against Houston had enough personnel, to triple team J.J. Watt because nothing else was on that line. Well, this is a little bit of a different story for him. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's that division is tough. We'll see how everything turns out, and we'll have plenty of time to look into the divisions far down the line.
Yeah, they've got a lot of. We got the draft, we got trade deadlines. We still got to go through. A lot of stuff can be done, so we'll tap back on that in a couple months.
But on paper, it could be formal.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, look, man, we're gonna jump into some college basketball. This is something we have not jumped into a whole bunch at all, really. But man, it is March, and that means March Madness. We're definitely missing. We were missing March Madness because they didn't do it last year because of the COVID outbreak. So now it looks like everything it's rolling. We're about to get into the conference tournaments starting next week, I believe. Or for the major conferences, I guess. And right now, okay, so Gonzaga looks really good. Gonzaga looks like a favorite to go all the way. Me personally, and I guess since you were on the websites here, did Michigan beat Illinois tonight?
No. Illinois came back and beat them 76-53.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, they took it to them.
Oh, right. Yeah. I watched this and watched. I was watching the back end of it. Illinois put up 43 in the second half, dude.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Well,
turned it on, especially in those last 6 minutes. Really turned it on. Fast break after fast break after fast break, man. Michigan couldn't keep up with them.
Well, then that takes away what I was going to say because Michigan up until this L, and look, they still might be a factor. Michigan has been playing some pretty good ball, but I was saying Michigan they should be mentioned up there with Baylor and Gonzaga as the top two teams, or as the top teams that could make a run. Now, look, we know it is college basketball. It's just an awesome tournament in terms of the one and done format that they have. So it's your legit 15 to 20 teams can win this if they are able to get high, get some good guard play. So I'd say about a week and a half ago was when I was really tuned in to the college basketball. And what I have been seeing, Gonzaga looks really good. Baylor looks like they're trying to work their way back. They had a big win in West Virginia earlier today. So maybe Baylor starting to round back into some sort of a shape coming off of their 3-week break because of the COVID scares that they've had. I know they lost Saturday in Kansas. And so Kansas is starting to look like they're starting to turn on too. These conference tournaments are going to be really fun, particularly in the Big 12 and the Big 10. Those conference tournaments are going to be great because any one of like 6 or 7 teams can win that. And then a lot of those teams, I think, are capable of making a deep run in the tournament. So you brought up Texas earlier. Texas playing in the Big 12. I was talking to my dad about them the other day. I feel like 7 of those teams can win they can win that Big 12 tournament. So Baylor, Kansas, both Oklahomas, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, they're capable of winning that tournament. Texas, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. I think all of those teams can win that tournament. They are capable of winning that tournament. I think they are that evenly matched. And in the Big 10, I mean, between Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State's been playing some pretty good ball. They look like they might be coming back down to earth. Iowa is interesting because Iowa has a player who's the player of the year candidate in Luka Garza. And I mean, they can get hot, and you can never, ever, ever, ever forget about Michigan State. They always seem to lurk.
Anyway, they find a way. It doesn't matter if they're the last team in all of the Big Ten. They find a way to compete.
Yes. And it looks like they are starting to get, because see, you just brought up Illinois. Illinois beat Michigan, beat the hell out of Michigan in Michigan today.
Mm-hmm.
But Michigan State beat Illinois last week. And so that's the thing, like, you just never know from day to day. And I mean, now I'm like really, really excited about it, man, because I'm like, oh yes, man, we might actually get March Madness this year. And dude, from what I've seen, there's a good 15 to 20 teams that can win this thing. And with no crowd, really, I guess there'll be some fans allowed in there, but the whole March Madness, I guess, is supposed to take place in Indianapolis, like the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I think they have like several courts, and they're gonna run like back-to-back games. They're even talking like there's only limited amount of refs, so like you're gonna watch refs like run back-to-back games. Some without even a break, just running it. But you're talking about the Big Ten. The Big Ten and Big 12 are going to be fun to watch. In particular, that West Virginia team, man. You mentioned all of the teams that could win, and they absolutely could, especially in these two conferences. But man, that West Virginia team is fun to watch, man, and so is that Kansas team. My personal opinion, if you ask me today who I think is going to win it, I think Baylor is going to win it. I think Baylor is just a really strong team, and their guard play is phenomenal. So if I was to pick a team out of that one, that's probably the one I would pick. And then that the Big Ten, Illinois beat Michigan, and beat them bad. But I was going to say, man, even if Michigan did win that one, the one you need to watch out for is Illinois. Illinois and Iowa, man. Iowa is a good team, even without guard play. But can you imagine that Iowa team stepping their guard play up, and then the rest of the team just follow suit with what they've been doing all season? Can you imagine how good that Iowa team could be?
Yeah, because with Luka Garza, man, like I said, that is a bona fide player of the year candidate there. And if he gives you his 20 and 10 with some guard play, like you said, they can come together. Now they blew out Ohio State the other day in Columbus. So
yeah,
I
but
mean,
look at how the guard play played.
Yeah. So I mean, so they. Man, so we're college basketball. Yeah, we about to hit it hard in these next couple of weeks, man. I can't wait. So Patrick, before we get out, to get an NBA subject in, the Utah Jazz. So the Utah Jazz have the best record in the league. The All-Star break is coming up this weekend, and Utah has been rolling. They've been doing their thing. So I guess the question for Utah is this a team? Now, I know we asked us about the 76ers last week, but how bona fide is Utah, man? How you looking at them? What do you think about them? And can they make a push?
Well, Look, they're the best team in the league right now. I'll tell you that. Best team in the league, and they're scrappy. They're scrappy as any team I have ever seen play. Yeah, they're gonna make some noise. But we all know when you get into the playoffs, that's a different league, different system. That's we're looking at 5 and 7 game series. Can this team win in a series? I want to see. That's where I want. I will draw the line before I make a decision on if this team. I'll say this team is legit. This team is straight up legit because they're playing legit. But you put them in a 5 game series, that's what I want to see. Where teams can say, okay, yeah, you beat me in game 1, but can you do the same exact thing and beat me in game 2 when I can make my adjustments? Can you do that in game 3 when you've made your adjustments, I've made my adjustments? And then when it gets down to 4, 5, and 6, it's not about adjustments anymore. It's just about who is straight up the best team because you've already made all your adjustments. So I want to see it. I'd like to see them in a. I'd like to see them in a 5 game series first. But as I can see right now, they're tough to beat, man. They're tough to beat.
I look at Utah, man, and I mean, this is a team that I don't see any weaknesses in them. Now, like I agree with you, you do have to get into the playoffs. When you start having adjustments being made, and you start seeing teams during a series format, that's going to be different, of course. And so, I mean, it's just like you said, different animal. But I look at their team. I mean, they have dudes who can come off the bench and get you buckets. Jordan Clarkson, he's probably going to be your 6th man of the year coming off of the bench. Mike Conley, all those years he was playing solid at point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now he's over in Utah doing this thing. You got Rudy Gobert in the middle, who's been a defensive player of the year in the league. And then you have Donovan Mitchell. And a lot of people want to say, well, gosh, if Utah needs a guy to go get some buckets, who are they going to go to? Well, look, Donovan Mitchell has had games where he's put up 50 on people. I think he can go get some buckets. If you put up 50 on people, you can go get some buckets. That's not a problem. And so, and that's why I say I don't really see a weakness with them. Now, granted, when those playoffs start, and depending on some of these matchups, they can catch up. We know the Lakers are going to be there. We get that. We know the Clippers, they should be there. Denver, I bring up Denver because Denver matches up well with Utah. Like that's a team that can match up with them well, and they know them very, very well because they're division rivals. So yes, it definitely depends on those matchups. But yeah, man, I mean, I like how Utah plays because they play very good team ball. They're fundamentally sound in a lot of those areas, offensively and defensively. They're very efficient offensively. Defense, I mean, with Rudy Gobert back there, they can lock you down. I like the team. Not gonna lie, I like the team, but it'll be interesting to see as it do get closer to the playoffs.
And like you said, with matching up, Denver does match up with them pretty well, but so does the Clippers. So I like to see. I want to see them in. I want to see them in a playoff format to definitely see how that goes. And if let's just say, and I hate when networks do this, but let's just say hypothetically, let's say the playoffs end today, or the season ends today. They got the Nuggets, or they got the Warriors. They would probably do really well against the Warriors. But if the Warriors happen to put a few wins together and pass the Nuggets, that can possibly be a little bit more of a different situation for them and be harder for them to win that first round. But we'll see. But I want to see them in a playoff format first. But they are pretty good, man. Really good.
Well, all right. Well, that will do it for this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube and Facebook. So you guys know the deal. Come on and check us out live. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain. Come out. Come on. Check us out. Leave these comments. Leave the feedback. You know, we don't care about what you say. But your reaction you might get from us might differ depending on what you say. And so, but we welcome all the feedback. We welcome everything, good, bad, or indifferent. So, also come out, or excuse me, make sure you go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Patrick, do you have a shorty coming up this week? It's okay. It's okay.
Probably not. I probably will actually be off the next 2 weeks, this week and next week. Wait, hold on. Let me check my schedule.
All right. Well,
yes. No, I will put one out this week, but I will not have one the next 2 weeks.
All right, cool. So, well,
and also I will not be on a shorty on the 16th.
All right. On the webcast.
On the webcast. We are going out of town, and I will be in Colorado.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, look. So, in other words, get used to seeing this smiley face a lot since Patrick's going to be gone. Y'all probably going to be missing Patrick by the time he gets back. So, everybody, until then, like I said, we'll put out the products when we can. We'll keep it going. For the meantime, thanks for everybody who has been supporting it and everybody who has hit that subscribe button, everybody who has hit that likes page. We will be continuing to come with content and we will make it worth your while. Believe us. So, all right, everybody take care. Have a good rest of the week and we'll talk soon.